Hi there, friends. Welcome back to the Julie Cross podcast show. I want to read a little something for you today. And every now and again, I sort of talk about what I read in a book that has had a huge impact on me. This is a very old one. It's called the original book was called Psycho-Cybernetics. So I tell a lie. This is a revised edition called The New Psycho-Cybernetics. It was originally written by Maxwell Maltz. And it has been since edited and updated by Dan Kennedy. So you can probably find it on Amazon, The New Psycho-Cybernetics. And in one of the chapters, it talks about it talks a lot about the power of your subconscious mind. And Maxwell Maltz was actually what are those people called that give you nose jobs and pump your lips up? Plastic surgeon. He was actually a plastic surgeon. But he could see that at times when he was making a difference to people's faces, it wasn't necessarily doing anything for their self-esteem. And so he became very interested in looking at people's self-esteem, their self-regard, their subconscious, the way that they thought. And he also explores what he calls an automatic success mechanism. And so he believes you can train the way you think and to attract success into your life. And of course, if you've spent any time with me, you know that I would believe that too. And so this particular chapter in his book talks about being hypnotised, and it challenges us to think about, are we hypnotised into a certain way of thinking? Because I hear people say all the time, I could never public speak, I can't public speak, I couldn't public speak. So have you actually, by saying it over and over again, hypnotised yourself into the belief that you can't public speak? And so here's a little chapter that he's written on about hypnotism. And it starts with, is everyone hypnotised? It is no exaggeration to say that all human beings are being hypnotised to some extent, either by ideas they have uncritically accepted from others, or by ideas they have repeated to themselves or convinced themselves are true. These negative ideas have exactly the same effect on our behaviour as the negative ideas implanted into the mind of a hypnotised subject by a professional hypnotist. Have you ever seen a demonstration of honest-to-goodness hypnosis? If not, let me describe just a few of the more simple phenomena that result from hypnotist suggestions. The hypnotist tells a strong football player that his hand is stuck to the table and he cannot lift it. It is not a question of the football player not trying. He simply cannot. He strains and struggles until the muscles of his arm and shoulder stand out like cords, but his hand remains fully rooted to the table. He tells the championship weightlifter that he cannot lift a pencil from the desk, and although normally he can hoist a 400-pound weight overhead, he can now actually not lift the pencil. Strangely enough, in these instances, hypnosis does not weaken the athletes. They are potentially as strong as ever. But without realising it consciously, they are working against themselves. On the one hand, they try to lift their hand or the pencil by voluntary effort and actually contract the proper lifting muscles. But on the other hand, the idea you cannot do it causes contrary muscles to contract quite apart from their will. The negative idea causes them to defeat themselves. They cannot express or bring into play their actual available strength. The gripping strength of another athlete has been tested on a dynamometer and has been found to be 100 pounds. All his effort and straining cannot budge the needle beyond the 100-pound mark. Now he is hypnotised and told, you are very, very strong, stronger than you've ever been in your life, much, much stronger. You are surprised at how strong you are. Again, the gripping strength of his hand is tested. This time he easily pulls the needle to the 125-pound mark. Again, strangely enough, hypnosis has not added anything to his actual strength. What the hypnotic suggestion did was to overcome a negative idea that had previously prevented him from expressing his full strength. In other words, the athlete in his normal waking state had imposed a limitation on his strength by the negative belief that he could only grip 100 pounds. The hypnotist merely removed this mental block and allowed him to express his true strength. The hypnosis literally dehypnotized him temporarily from his own self-limiting beliefs about himself. And then he goes on to explore this further. So doesn't that make sense? That if you're saying something to yourself over and over again, you're hypnotizing yourself into a limiting belief about yourself. So we can re-hypnotize ourselves into a new belief about ourselves by affirming something different. And that's why, if you've been to my shows, you'll hear that one of my two affirming verses that I always use is, I am a miracle and I am enough. I can't do this. I'll never be able to do this. I am a miracle and I am enough. What if they don't like me? I am a miracle and I am enough. And the other one is, I'll handle it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Well, you watch your body language when you say that. I can't do this. I can't approach that. I'll handle it. And I'll handle it. And suddenly you are hypnotizing yourself into the fact that you can handle it. So isn't that interesting? It's interesting. If you've ever seen a hypnosis at work, we've all seen that. We've all seen people acting in these ways. And it's not magic. It's simply hypnosis working on the subconscious mind. So I challenge you today to think about what beliefs you've hypnotized yourself into thinking. And maybe it was something your parents said to you once. Oh, you can't sing. You'll never be a singer. And then we chose to take that on and to keep processing that and to keep saying it over and over again until we have hypnotized ourselves into that belief. But wow, doesn't that put the power back in our hands? So have a look today and have a think about what you've hypnotized yourself into, and perhaps re-hypnotize yourself into a better way of acting and feeling, because you are stronger than you know. So the book is called The New Psycho-Cybernetics, Maxwell Maltz, MD. So I'm sure you'll find it on Amazon. It's a fairly old book now. So thank you for listening. See you next time.